What do you got?
Yeah, listen, for the first time, we have confirmation that the FBI and the Justice Department believes it over-collected evidence when it was at Mar-a-Lago, meaning it collected evidence that was not covered by the search warrant. Tonight, I have confirmed from two different sources that the Justice Department called President Trump's defense lawyers today, confirming that they did take his 3 passports. They are making arrangements to send it back, saying they are obligated to return it because it's outside the scope of the subpoena. They have also informed the Trump defense lawyers, the Justice Department has, over the last few days, that there's likely privileged materials that the FBI collected that now has to be segregated and returned to the president. Those privileges could be attorney-client privilege or, more likely, executive privilege. Now, this is remarkable. I talked to a lot of FBI people today who told me this warrant was already remarkably broad. They basically go in and get anything that looked like a presidential record to then collect something like a passport, which most agents can recognize pretty quickly, or privileged documents, raised concerns among career FBI officials. You're going to see some of them quoted in my story tomorrow about just how this raid was conducted and the sort of lack of precision that was carried out during this raid.
You know, John, I'm looking at all this, and you and I covered this whole story about corruption at the upper levels of the FBI. Sure. Director Wray was supposed to clean it up. Why didn't he?
It's a great question, right? I think a lot of people I talk to say if you don't have accountability for the people who did it before, you never clean up the system that comes after it. The temptation to do these things, to go overly broad, to cheat on a warrant or to mislead a court or mislead Congress is high because really no one paid a terrible penalty for what happened during Russia collusion. And I think most of the experts I've talked to in the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, are we back at another point that looks like Russia? Increasingly, they're saying, yes, that the basic rules are not being followed. Even if the FBI has a good reason to look for something, the rules aren't being followed. And I think the reason is there really hasn't been a consequence for cheating or breaking the rules in the most recent past.
Well, we will stop them. And if your plan doesn't work, we've got an insurance policy. No penalty. John Solomon, editor-in-chief.